This is my new Brompton Sea Line, and it is one of the strangest, most interesting bicycles on planet Earth. But right now, it is a $2,300 handmade shopping cart. You can see it's rolling along on its $200 rack, and in the $115 basket, I have my groceries, and I'm able to just push it along. That's one of the many weird and unusual features of the Brompton that I'm going to be showing you today. Yeah, these are pretty expensive. Actually, they often cost double what competing brands do, and warranted or not, people do seem to be willing to pay it. So today I'm going to show you all the strange and unique features of the Brompton Folding Bicycle while treating it very badly. And if it's built as well as they claim, then we'll take it to the skate park and see how it flies. So why am I in an Uber instead of riding my Brompton? Well, multimodal transportation. You see, you take a train, a bus, a plane, whatever you want to your destination, and then you do the final mile on your Brompton. You can use it to fill in the blanks. And because it packs down so small, you can fit it on a checked bag on an airline. You can carry it with you onto a bus. And then, of course, I showed you shopping cart mode, which allows you to push it along very easily. And that makes a Brompton folding bicycle most at home in a city. So now we're in the city of Asheville, where I can only assume I won't get beat up for riding a Brompton. So now I can show you the Brompton's killer feature, its ingenious folding mechanism. Now, you can see it's on the luggage rack right now, like it was in shopping cart mode. The handlebars fold up diagonally, and then there is a hinge clamp to keep it up. Now, how does the rest of the bicycle unfold? If you lift up on it, you see everything stays folded. Is there a latch? Should we force it? If you look closely at the bicycle over here, you can see the seat post is what's keeping it from unfolding. And if we raise up the seat post, everything is fully unlocked. Now, as you can see here at the rear linkage, there is a latch that keeps this unfolded when you're riding it, but actually your weight would keep it unfolded, and so many Brompton owners actually disable this latch so they can quickly fold it up when they want to. That's fine as long as you're not doing any jumps, and so we're going to keep ours latched. Now that my Brompton is unfolded, you can see it in all its glory. It's quite beautiful, like an umbrella or a selfie stick. To be fair, it does look kind of classy when you compare it to other folding bikes with that Brompton logo. There's something very British about it. But nobody buys a Brompton to look at, they buy it to ride daily for decades. Now, riding the Brompton is quite the experience. Now, despite the Brompton's small wheels, the ride quality is actually quite good thanks to the steel frame and this little suspension block that we'll talk more about later. But one thing I find odd is the gearing. We're here in Asheville where there are a lot of steep hills, and I noticed they're very, very hard to climb, yet this has tons of gear range. It ranges from a heavy gear to a really, really, really heavy gear. It's like they geared this for land speed records. Now, as I mentioned, the Brompton does have plenty of range. It has 6 gears in total. This shifter over here on the right controls a 3-speed internal gear hub by Sturmey Archer. It works when it feels like it. Then this guy over here on the left actually controls a proprietary derailleur made by Brompton, and that switches between 2 cogs on the rear, almost like a transfer case. This is one of the most unique shifting systems I've ever seen before, and while it's really cool, I do question its long-term reliability. Of course, Brompton owners will tell you that it's perfect, but I'm gonna see for myself. The internal gear hub by Sturmey Archer is quite stubborn. Sometimes it just doesn't shift, and I have to really, I don't know what I have to do. Backpedal? Yeah, there we go. I'm sure I'm just doing it wrong. But all things considered, this is a really smooth riding bike. People in the Brompton community will do 100-mile rides on these. They'll go bike packing. They even have Brompton races. And I learned all that by going to our Brompton, the Reddit thread for Brompton bicycle owners. And there's some really weird stuff in there. Now, should you buy a new Brompton, take a picture of it and post it to our Brompton, they're going to welcome you to the fold. Very nice, welcoming people, but they're not as compassionate if you get your Brompton stolen. Should that happen and you make a post about it, they're gonna ask you, how the hell did you get your Brompton stolen? Why didn't you take it into the store with you? And it's this huge community and user base that's part of the allure of owning a Brompton. I mean, they've been the same since the 1980s. They've been relatively unchanged. And so there are accessories, tutorials, videos, posts dating back to the beginning of the internet about Bromptons, and most of them are still accurate because the bicycle just really hasn't changed all that much. But as I mentioned earlier, you need to pay dearly to enter that Brompton community. This one was $2,000, which makes it kind of an average Brompton. The Brompton T-Line, the titanium one, I don't know, it's something like $5,000. And if you look on eBay, you'll see that these things barely even lose value. They basically keep up with US currency. And for many, that price is very hard to justify. If you're just looking for practical transportation, you can get a bike for half the price from Dahan or Turn that basically performs the same as a Brompton. Unless you're looking for that really compact fold, the Brompton community, or just a weird, quirky, interesting bike, yeah, you can basically save 50%. But again, if you take good care of your Brompton, it's gonna hold its value. Look on eBay, type in Brompton, and see if you can find a decent one for under $1,000. Good luck. These things fly off the shelves like crazy, and people are willing to pay for 20-year-old Bromptons what they cost when they were new for some reason. You know, ever since I smashed that proprietary rear derailleur on a step, hasn't been acting right, and so now will be a great time to show you some of the accessories. You know what that is? $100. Yeah, they actually make a super sweet integrated multi-tool that fits inside the frame, and that's great because this shifter just doesn't seem to be working right, and so I'm gonna try and fix it here. If your Brompton doesn't bankrupt you, the accessories might. There are tons of branded Brompton accessories that work great with the bicycle, and if I'm being honest, they're not as expensive as mountain bike stuff, and it's proprietary. It only fits one bike. This multi-tool fits inside the frame magnetically, and it's actually really nice. This rack is also an accessory, technically. It costs $200 extra. It too is very nice. It has integrated bungees on it. It of course has the wheels so that you can put the bike into shopping cart mode, and it's just an overall pretty sturdy rack. This bag up at the front, as I said, it costs $115. This fits on the carrier block on the front. There's a little latch over here, and it just pops on and off, and then you have handles to carry it around. And actually, there's more to this bag than what meets the eye. It's mounted to the head tube, not the handlebars, and so when you steer, it doesn't move around. Normally, if you have a bag on your handlebars with all sorts of stuff in it, it sort of flops around. This one, completely independent of the bike steering, and so when you're riding around, it handles really nice. Check this out, a Lezyne pump that says Brompton on it. This, I believe, came with this bike, and so that's kind of a nice touch. But in terms of Brompton accessories, we're not even scratching the surface. People get different hinge clamps and even suspension blocks. This little chunk of polyurethane back here is actually a suspension block. It provides some compliance as your Brompton moves along uneven terrain, and it kind of compresses. They make coil shocks, springs, all sorts of different suspension blocks that you can buy for your Brompton to tune the suspension the way you want. And because all Brompton models are basically the same size and they haven't changed much in 40 years, you will find the most accessories for Brompton bicycles of almost any specific bicycle, period. In a moment, I'm gonna take this bicycle to the skate park and see how it flies, but I should tell you what I think of it. After all, I spent north of $2,000 on this bike, including all the accessories. It's got caliper brakes, it's got an overcomplicated shifting system that seems to be kind of finicky, although I did fix it. And I can't help but notice how many other folding bikes there are out there that seem to offer more. But I really like the Brompton, but I kind of like weird bikes. Everything's made just for Brompton, everything's proprietary, and everything is weird, weirder than it probably has to be. And some people really hate that about things. I think Apple products are kind of like that. You can only get Apple accessories for them. What some people hate about the Brompton, I think a lot of people love about it. It's what makes it unique, it's what ties the community together, and it's what makes them so interesting to own. I also plan on traveling with this, and so I do appreciate the super compact size. And although there are probably things that I will come to hate about the Brompton, there's definitely something special about this bike. Let's see if we can shake it loose. All right, so we're at the skate park. This is super sketchy. This is as wet as it gets. There are just puddles everywhere. The coping's wet, but I gotta get something in the bag with this bike. I gotta do something. I'm gonna try and drop in on this quarter pipe. I gotta just really watch the coping, because if my tire touches it, it's just gonna slide right out. Here goes. My shoe got caught on the linkage. Oh my God, I don't want to break my teeth today. Just not today. That is scary. The thing kind of flies though. It's got these street tires. I'm gonna mess around a little bit more. I should try to fakie. There's really no consequences to that. Oh, stomped it. This thing is amazing for fakies, and so I'm gonna try and 180 on top of the box. I think just a full 360 would actually be easier. With the little wheels, the bike actually, it feels long, but it's really not that long. I think I'm just gonna go for it. I think I'm gonna go for a full 360. Let me get on the other deck. We're okay. Okay. Something's hung up here. All right, we're gonna see this 360 through, and so I need to get my multi-tool out. Nice. Okay, I see what's going on. The brake pads got knocked way out of whack. Okay, so we'll line up the brake pads, squeeze down the brake, get them centered out here. Probably should just disable them. And we'll get her cinched back down for another try. I'm actually kind of impressed with this multi-tool. Oh yeah, we're doing great now, and every single part of me is soaking wet, including my hands. But these grips are actually pretty good. What do you say we give it another try? Get my footing. Maybe we should just call it. I'm gonna get myself hurt, and it's still the beginning of the summer. There's no reason to do this. I had a lot of fun on the Brompton today, and I gotta be honest, I'm pretty impressed with the build quality given what we put it through today. And I plan on traveling with this, and so anything I broke today, I was kind of committed to fixing. So, are Brompton bicycles for everyone? No, definitely not. There are a lot of folding bicycles out there, and they all offer different pros and cons. But if you like really weird bikes with really robust communities and accessories, Brompton is definitely a good option, and in that way I compare it to Surly. Surly has a cult following, and although Brompton is bougier, it's also steel, and it also has that same community, and there are a lot of interesting things on a Brompton that you're not going to find in anything else. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me today on a ride. I hope you learned something, and if you didn't, I hope you at least found this video entertaining. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time. We're okay.